One on TNT, one Moraes versus Johnson. This is the full card predictions. Exciting card, some striking only matches. It's going to be a lot of fun. TNT debut, you guys definitely got to tune in. There's going to be some excellent fights. And in the main event, you see Mighty Mouse back in action. In the co-main, you have Eddie Alvarez. Overall, stacked card with very high possibilities of finishes and absolute slugfest. There's going to be some entertaining fights without a doubt. Let's start with the first fight of the night. Umar Kane versus Mehdi Begari, aka Roog. If you look at Roog recently fought against very tough Alan and Galani, dangerous striker he is. Now, Umar Kane is a different style. He's a big boy, obviously, but actually has a Senegalese wrestling background. When he got on top of Alan, was able to unload some ground and pound, got the stoppage, whether people agreed with it or not. Still was an impressive win. He's an absolute specimen at 6'4", 265. He is as thick as a door frame, and he takes on Mehdi Begari, who's a very good wrestler, only 6 feet, is the shorter man of the two. He actually has a recent loss to somebody who's definitely making some steam in Bellator. That is Ji-Won Kang. He had Kang down, had some control from the top in that matchup, showed his high-level wrestling skills. He's an Iranian national champ, but was finished in that matchup on the ground. Taking on Roog. The size difference is substantial here. Roog also not a bad striker, has pretty good leg kicks, good range management. He's a tricky guy to fight, especially for the much smaller Mehdi Begari, who, yes, is a good wrestler. I don't think his wrestling is going to be as effective here against a man this big. I feel like the Senegalese champ wins this fight. He also has very good throws, and on top, he's super heavy. I think he finds a way to get on top of Mehdi Begari and stops him. TKO round 2 for Roog, aka Umar Kane. I think it's going to be a great fight. I think Mehdi Begari's outmatched here, and I think that Roog is somebody to keep an eye on in this one championship heavyweight division. He's a lot of fun, and beating Alan Galani, who's a star there, is definitely bringing value to his name, and he's got a lot of exciting matchups coming forward if he can get past Mehdi Begari here. To start off the night, that's a fun fight. The next fight is going to be kickboxing with the gloves in the cage, which will be fun to watch. I'm definitely looking forward to seeing it. Raiden Otapaki versus Patrick Schmid. With Otapaki, you have very crisp punching. I was actually super impressed. For a guy that's 6'7", his striking skills off the chain, very technical, is fast, rips devastating body kicks as well with the lead leg, and also has really nasty spinning kicks in his arsenal. His opponent, in Patrick Schmid, is no slouch though. A lot of punching power, does have a more squared Thai style stance, but you need to watch out for his overhands, has knockouts on the record, and is also 6'4" and very aggressive. We'll quickly pull up Otapakic's last fight in one championship. This was Bruno Cessanano. He beat him by a TKO this year, and prior to that beat Errol Zimmerman, who is a legend of kickboxing, knocked him out with a spinning back kick, was super impressive. This kid's got a ton of ability. I think he runs through Patrick Schmid here. Knockout, I see it in the second round, and definitely is going to be a huge performance for Raiden Otapaki here. Big win, and I see him with a bright future in kickboxing, and this fight I think is going to be an absolute barn burner. Especially in the cage, seeing kickboxing. That'll be a lot of fun, and I cannot wait. Next fight of the night, Tyler Maguire versus Raymond Magomedov. It says middleweight. That's incorrect. It's a welterweight bout. Tapology has the weight classes switched just because one championship's weights are slightly different than other MMA leagues because they're not as much about cutting weight. So Tyler Maguire is a dominant wrestler. You look at his style. He's a guy that's going to take you down. He's a specialist. He's a takedown specialist. He's good in the clinch, has very high-level takedowns from the body lock position, and he's also a southpaw, which is going to be tricky for some guys to deal with. When he gets on top, he controls. He has decent submission game, but really top control is his specialty, and he's going to be in for a fight here with Raymond. Excellent striker. He's a southpaw, and he likes to switch his stances up fairly well, and I think that his free-flowing style on the feet definitely causes Maguire problems. Likes to leave that lead hand low and will use it to manage the range. I feel like he's not going to be able to stop the takedowns here, though, of Maguire. He will stop some, but I think it's going to be constant chain wrestling attack. Dominant top control. Tyler Maguire should win this fight, and I think he does so by a unanimous decision here over Raymond Magomedov. And I think it should be very grappling heavy, this fight here, and I think it's going to be in Maguire's favor, definitely. But a good fight here in the welterweight division. The next fight on the card, This is a Muay Thai bout with MMA gloves. 5 rounds, I believe. I think it's going to be an excellent fight here. Rod Tang, Jimmertingon. We're just going to call him Rod Tang, a.k.a. the Iron Man. He takes on Daniel Williams, Mini T. It's going to be a good fight. I think this is a striker's dream fight. It's MMA gloves with Muay Thai. What's not to like? With Rod Tang, he's very dangerous and close, rips devastating hooks to the head and body, and he's also very fast. And he does bring serious knockout power. Muay Thai experience is off the chain. He has 266 wins, 45 losses, and 10 draws. This guy has been fighting for a long time, and he's only 23 years of age. Excellent career he's had, and he is a beast of a striker. Now, Mini T's an aggressive striker too, has a bit of a hands-low style, but does have some really good kicks. I will say, sometimes those hands are too low. He gets a bit too awkward at times, and I feel like Rod Tang is going to make him pay, especially with the MMA gloves, not the normal Thai padding gloves. Knockout second round for Rod Tang here, and I think he puts on a hell of a show and introduces himself to the American fight fans. Because Muay Thai with MMA gloves is something that I'm very excited to see, and I think that Rod Tang does it so well. Now, the co-main event is between a very notable name in Eddie Alvarez, former UFC and Bellator champion, I believe Dream as well, takes on Iuri Lapicus, who's on the rise, has looked excellent, has that tough loss to Christian Lee, but those shots were questionable. A lot of back-to-the-head punches landed. Prior to that, we'll look at Iuri Lapicus' record. I mean, if you're only, a fan of American MMA, you won't know, but Murat Garifov, very good. He's a champion from one championship. I was very impressed. He won that fight by submission, and he's a striker. People were fearful if that fight got on the ground. He showed he's a beast on the ground. He also showed that in his one championship debut. I feel like Eddie Alvarez is here for a stern test. I think he's prepared for it. He's the underground king. He's a guy that loves a war, and he's definitely going to get one out of Iuri because he can fight. Look at the last fight, beat Edward Folayang. He was hurt badly by a leg kick. Looked like the fight wasn't going to go his way, but then he did get it done. Also was stopped against Timothy Nastakin, and I feel like that shows how good the one championship competition is, because right before that, it was Dustin Poirier, and he had beaten Justin Gaethje. Iuri Lapicus is no joke here. Excellent striking, trains with very high-level strikers. He controls range well. He's very poised, and he has devastating leg kicks. Eddie Alvarez was hurt by some leg kicks bad in his last fight. I think it could happen again. Also is very good when he gets the underhook. He'll get a nice throw in there. I think he could give Eddie Alvarez some serious problems. I mean, if you know Alvarez, you know what he brings. Aggressive striker. He will take one to give one, and he has a ton of power in his punches, so it makes sense he would do that. He can knock out a lot of guys, but if he gets hit by Iuri Lapicus here, he could be unconscious. I feel like his grappling abilities have definitely helped him in one championship, especially in his last fight against Eduardo Folayang. He was losing that fight. I don't know if he'll have that success here. I feel like Lapicus wins this fight. He's going to beat Eddie Alvarez, and I think he does it by spectacular knockout. And I feel like it's going to be in the second round. It's going to be the biggest win of his career. And I feel like he'll be definitely back at the top of one championship. Would be a disappointing loss for Alvarez, who I think is hoping for a title shot with a victory here. But I think Iuri gets it done. Knockout win. He's 25, Alvarez 37. He hasn't looked great as of late, and I think Iuri is on fire. He's 14-1. He's a developing guy. As I mentioned, trains with a good team. Excellent skill set. He wins this fight. Iuri Lapicus beats Eddie Alvarez by knockout in the second round. The main event of the evening, we have now arrived. Adriano Moraes versus Demetrious Mighty Mouse Johnson. There's a lot of fun things to note about this matchup. Adriano Moraes, 5'8", Demetrious Johnson, 5'3". So that's a serious advantage as far as the height goes. You look at guys who have gave Demetrious Johnson problems. There have been some taller guys in the past. Tim Elliott in that first round, he's 5'7". You look back at the fight with Dominic Cruz, he's 5'8". He beat Mighty Mouse. Granted, that was a different era of MMA, but still, Miguel Torres gave Mighty Mouse hell, and he's 5'9". Adriano Moraes, though, is more of a grappler. Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu world champion, but does have a good Brazilian Thai style of striking, controls range decently, but Demetrious Johnson is on another level as far as his overall game goes. Closes distance very well, throws that big hook, and then he'll close in. He'll look for takedowns from there. He'll unload combinations. He'll rip nice leg kicks. Demetrious Johnson can do it all. If the fight goes to the ground, I think he's more than capable of competing with Adriano Moraes. I don't think Moraes can submit him here. I don't think he knocks him out on the feet. I feel like Demetrious Johnson, he's been in a trend of decisions here in one championship, at least in his last two, I believe. Yeah, both decisions. I think he will work towards a good victory here over Adriano Moraes, but I do think a decision win is probably likely. Moraes is not going to be easy to finish. His last two fights went the distance, and I think he's going to go the distance here with Demetrious Johnson. I think he has his moments in this fight. Adriano Moraes definitely has a chance to make a name for himself to the American fans, win or lose. But I think Demetrious Johnson captures another world championship and just adds to his Hall of Fame resume as one of the greatest MMA fighters to ever live. And he's going to win the belt against Adriano Moraes here. And I think he does so by a decision. Definitely will be competitive moments, but he gets it done. Adriano Moraes loses this fight. Demetrious Johnson for the victory. Adriano Moraes will lose the title, and new Demetrious Johnson, unfortunately for this card, was not able to find any betting lines. I guess one championship doesn't always have betting options. If later in the week some come out, I will be doing a weigh-in recap video with updated odds. So if they are released, they will be on that video. And if I do get them, I will put them in the comments. I hope you guys enjoyed. Make sure you guys smash that like button. Subscribe to the channel. Also, guys, follow my social media, Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok. And make sure you tune in to this one on TNT card. It's going to be some excellent martial arts. You get to see more than just MMA. All fights in a cage. Should be awesome. Thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you all in the next video.